Hello, 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 Baudelaire children. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ren, and I'm a pagan, and I usually talk about occultist things and history, but today I'm just going to be putting on makeup, and I'm going to talk about my personal paranormal experiences. So get ready with me, I guess. If I sniff a lot, I'm sorry. I feel like poop. I did want to introduce myself just a little bit, maybe talk about how I became a pagan. I don't know, maybe you guys have, like, if you're a pagan, maybe you have a similar experience, maybe you have something different. That's really cool. Yeah, I grew up in Catholic school. Well, I started out in Catholic school, and my dad was very Christian, and my mom grew up Lutheran, but when I was younger, she was definitely more spiritual, nothing really defined, but she did have books on Wicca. That's how I got introduced to it, I think. But yeah, so I identified as Wiccan for, like 13 years, 14 years. I don't identify as Wiccan specifically right now or anymore, I guess. I just identify as pagan, which is way more vague. Just like how I don't know if you know, but I identify as non-binary. That's also kind of vague. It doesn't really tell you what gender I am. I don't have a gender. I'm a Ren. I don't know. But basically, I guess I'm like neo-pagan or eclectic pagan. I have no idea. I just would identify as like a nature worshiper. I don't see deity as like literally there. I see it more as like a personification of all the forces at work in the universe, and it makes it easier to like visualize and work with and interact with if you have these deity. Plus it also ties you back to, you know, your roots. A lot of people like to interact with or work with mythology from their own roots. So mine are, I'm mostly a Dane, and so I relate to a lot of like Norse mythology, or I like to look at a lot of Norse mythology. I'm also Irish and Scottish, so I like a lot of Celtic mythology. Honestly, I like Celtic a little bit more. I'm not getting ready. But yeah, so what was I talking about? Oh, I just see them as like personifications, like ways to feel connected with your heritage, yada yada, ways to just feel connected with people of the past. And I definitely think it's really interesting. I see a lot of things as interpretable rather than literal. Yeah, so if you're pagan, I am interested to know if you grew up Christian or not. I don't know if this is like weird to share. I don't want to like upset anyone. I think all religions are very valid, and however you interpret them, I think is really important for your path. But I think everyone's different, and everyone deserves to be on a different path, and none of them are wrong. They're only wrong if you feel like it's wrong for you. And I felt like Christianity was wrong for me. I just didn't like the attitude of who was teaching me, how only our way was right. We had to believe in God this one way, and everyone else was going to hell. I'm not saying that's how Christianity is. I'm just saying that was my experience with it. And I just did not like that. And I've always felt really close with nature. And so I found that the at first Wiccan, but now pagan path just aligns with me better, and I feel a lot more connected to God. Now, when I say God, or if I talk about God, I'm going to say it is the force that is unknowable. Whether you believe in a Christian God or like an Abrahamic religion God or something else, I kind of just believe in the power of the universe itself, but that could be interpreted as God. I think religion is interesting because, you know, it's very personal and interpretable. My only thing with it is that I think everyone should have their right to practice religion the way that they want and like view the world how they feel aligns with them, and that's really the only rule to me, in my opinion. This is not a video about religion. I just wanted to talk about myself a little bit. So yeah, I'm pagan. I work with some deities like really loosely. I usually work with the universe as a whole, the elements, but I do have right here, I have a little statue of Bridget, and I've recently been reading a little bit about Hecate, who I never really got into because I thought she was kind of the obvious choice and didn't love that. I wanted something more specific to me, but I don't know. Recently I've been interested in her. I'm kind of new to deity work, I guess. I like to work with the earth and the elements and like the spirit of the universe a little bit more. But whatever works for you is really interesting. If you work with a deity, I would love to know how you like met them. Because I have like imposter syndrome, so I'm like I never trust myself. Well, that's not true, but you know what I mean. I doubt myself a lot. Now, for paranormal experiences, I know that some people are like huge skeptics, some people believe but haven't experienced, and some people like me believe and have experienced. I just want to share it with you. I think it's really interesting. I love hearing people's ghost stories. If you have ghost stories, I want to hear. I will preface with it's nothing insane. It's not like you could make a movie out of my experiences. And I have some experiences that I might leave out because they blend in with, I had sleep paralysis, or I still have sleep paralysis, but it was really active when I was a teenager. But it does coincide with when I lived in a house that I swear was haunted. I swear it was haunted. You'll see. But that is when my sleep paralysis started, and when I was younger, I would sleepwalk a lot, which is hereditary in my family. My mom and my grandma would both sleepwalk. I just think it's interesting. But everything that I'm going to tell you are things that happened while I was awake. So, before, I've always kind of been susceptible to the energy of like spirits. One thing that's really cool about, you know, the paranormal and the occult and spiritualism is that I like that it's unknowable. I think that the search for the truth is so interesting, and it's more of like an art of interpreting. But so I don't know why I'm like prefacing this, like if you don't believe in ghosts, like you're gonna tear me down, but like I believe in ghosts, so that's just how I'm gonna tell it, as if they were spirits. When I was younger, like my first experience ever that I physically remember is I was at my grandparents' house in Michigan, and I was out on their like sunroom, you know, those rooms that are like mostly windows. I was out on that, and I was alone, and I kind of remember being like on a couch, and I remember just feeling like pressure like all around me, but it didn't make me panic. I actually felt really comforted. So when I told my mom about it, I was trying to interpret what just happened to me, and I told her that I felt like I was just hugged, but no one was around. And it was my childhood home, or my family's childhood home. Like, my grandpa was raised there, and his mom lived there. I think most of the time that she was in America, she came from Denmark. So she came from Denmark, and I think most of the time that she was in America, she was in this house. So my mom is also pretty spiritual, definitely believes in ghosts. So I think she thought that I was definitely hugged, and that it was like the spirit of my family. But yeah, I wasn't really like a kid to make things up. I know that you guys don't know me, but I have this really irrational fear of lying, and I'm just like not really a fibber, and you can believe whatever you want. I mean, it's good to be skeptical of people and what they say and everything, but I'm just telling you, I'm not a liar. I don't like it. I don't think it's fun. Like to the point where I was just telling my friend that one time I was speeding and I saw like a steady cop like sitting, and you know, the little gun, seeing who's speeding, and I didn't slow down, not because I'm stupid or because I didn't know I was speeding, but because I thought if I slowed down that would be lying, that I have to commit to the bit. So I just don't like lying. So I don't think I made that up, and I remember it, and I remember telling my mom. But that was like my first experience that I really remember, just to set the scene. And then honestly, I didn't have a lot of experiences in my first house or at my dad's house, which was like this really old I think like Victorian, or I guess it's not Victorian in America, but like that era of a house. I know that when they bought it, it didn't have like a bathroom. It was like a little farmhouse. We had like a barn and stuff. I don't even remember that being like haunted particularly. The house would settle a lot, but houses settle, what can I say? But later in life, we moved to Florida, and I lived in this house in this little town called Seminole. In that house, I swear that house was haunted. And it's not just my experiences in that house. My mom has experiences there too. Before I get to those, I'll talk about one more strange experience that I had in the same area at my then boyfriend's house. We were sitting in his room, and it was like late at night. I don't even remember what we were doing, watching TV, playing games, who knows. And we hear like this loud like bam on the door, and we're like, hello? Who's there? What do you want? We got up and thinking that like maybe his mom or his sister or something like knocked. I don't know who knocks like that. It was like one big whack. Or I thought maybe he had like a pit bull. I thought maybe like the pit bull walked by and like slapped the door with its tail or something. It was really loud. We go out there. The pit bull's in its cage, sleeping. And we're like, okay. And then we go around to the rooms to see like if the like mom or the sister had tried to get to us and just went back to bed or like back to the room or something, and they were both like sound asleep, and we were like, okay, interesting. Who did that? Never found out, don't know. I thought at the time maybe I was haunted. Back at my house in this Seminole house, bunch of experiences. My mom would hear whispering or like talking far away. Like she could hear that there was talking, but she couldn't hear what they were saying. She could just tell that there was a conversation. It wasn't like one person. It was like multiple people. So she would like get up and see if it was me or if I was watching TV, but it was never me or TV. I was like asleep or wasn't there. And I know eventually she said she like pinpointed where it was coming from, because she would hear it like almost every single night, and she would hear it from her walk-in closet, which had the entrance to the attic. No, not for me. No. So she was like, yeah, I would just turn on the TV so I could go to bed and didn't have to hear that. And I'm like, wow, so real. If I can't hear the problem does not exist. And I wouldn't hear the voices. I don't think I ever heard the voices. I don't remember them. But I would hear like pages flipping. I would hear like paper, almost like paper fluttering in the wind, because it wasn't like rhythmic. Like when you hear pages turning when someone's reading or something, it sounded like a lot of pages and it had no rhythm. So I would hear this paper turning, and it would like wake me up, and then I would continue to hear it. And so I would be terrified. I can't describe why it was scary, because alone like that doesn't sound scary. But I just had like, it was just weird because I couldn't explain it. That's why it was scary. I would like get up and turn the light on, and then it would stop, and I wouldn't see anything around that could possibly have been making sound. And it's not like turning the light on would stop that sound from happening. If something, like if maybe my fan was blowing papers, or if I had like a book out or something. But no, nothing like that. It would just stop, and then I would like go back to bed, and maybe I wouldn't hear it for a little bit, and then I would hear it again. So I also would sleep with the TV on a lot. And a couple of times I saw things. At first I thought, I don't know, I just like brushed a lot of it away because I was like, whatever. As people, we try to just be like, oh, well, maybe I didn't notice that, or they just try to explain things away. But one time I was laying on my bed, probably like reading, or on my laptop on Tumblr or something, who knows. And I saw, like out of the corner of my eye, my door open. And so I'm thinking that it's my mom and that she needs something. And me being a shitty little teenager, I don't like look up or say anything, like just waiting for her. Like, what do you need? And she doesn't say anything. So eventually I like look up and I'm like, what do you want? But she's not there. And I'm like, wow, typical. You came in my room, you opened my door, and then you left it with it open. Great. Thanks, Mom. So I got up to, like, I don't know, complain or be like, what did you want? But she was asleep. Okay. And I know that my door wasn't open because I literally kept that thing closed. I was a bratty little teenager who wanted my personal space. And so I was like, what the heck? And so I like woke her up and I was like, did you just come in my room? And she was like, no. Why'd you just wake me up? I was sleeping. I'm going back to bed. I was like, what the freak? So yeah, that was the like first thing that happened to me. I mean, like, other than like the pages turning and like my mom talking about the voices or whatever, we kind of were both just like, I don't know, must have been the wind. So that happened and I was like, oh, freaky, maybe I am losing my mind, and I left the door open, even though I would never do that, but okay. So yeah, and then one time I went to bed and I've just like always had this, not like fear, but I always have my closet closed when I go to bed just because I don't like the gaping darkness. I don't want to see that. Keep that to yourself. When I was really young, my grandma got me this like porcelain doll clown. Why do you hate me? You're trying to curse me. A porcelain clown doll? Porcelain doll, period. Come on. But a clown? Okay. She was cute as hell though. I should never have gotten rid of her. But yeah, she lived in my closet, and so I kept that thing closed. But yeah, so I'm just mentioning that because I kept that thing closed when I went to bed. And I like remember a sound waking me up, and I had no idea what the sound was. You know, you wake up, you're groggy, you're kind of like not processing things very well. But the sound wakes me up, so I get up and I turn the light on and my closet is open. It's like one of those, it's not like a sliding door, it's like one of, you pull them out and open them this way, the folding ones. I don't know. It's one of those. I had like a whole look planned, but now I'm like, it's hard to focus, like do it and talk at the same time. I never realized. I'm just gonna finish the base makeup so I can get to the eye makeup because we gotta hurry. Fantastic. This other time, I actually saw the door open, and it was my bedroom door and my closet door. I saw them both open and it scared me so bad. I was sitting in bed. Did I do anything else? No. I sat in bed and I was on Tumblr all day. So I was sitting in bed and I saw them both open because my bed like looked out, I guess, towards both of them, and I saw them both open at the same time while I was on my computer. And I just remember I was awake, I was fully awake, and I remember feeling exactly like how I felt when I had sleep paralysis, where I was so terrified I could not move. And like, if you've ever had sleep paralysis, it feels like you're in danger. You feel like just this overwhelming sense of absolute doom, like you're gonna die. That's how I felt, but I was like fully awake, not asleep, not going to sleep, fully awake on my computer, and I was like, no. Which is like, girl, if that happened to me now, it sounds cool. I feel like I would be excited. Or maybe if this has never happened to you, you think you would be excited, but in the moment, I was like, no. Whoever you are, no. I hated it. And this was when I was like a baby witch, like baby. So all I could think to do was to like sage the room. Saged it so bad. I was like, no, like I'm good. I need you to leave. You need to leave. I was like, After that, things did calm down, but I would still like hear rustling time to time, and I would hear the papers, but I never saw like the doors opening again. And honestly, good. I don't think I could handle that. But I also started to have sleep paralysis while I was at this house. And I still get sleep paralysis, but it was like every night at this house I would get sleep paralysis, and it was terrifying. And I had like all the classic sleep paralysis, I guess, dreams, like hallucinations. If you don't know what sleep paralysis is, it like disrupts your REM sleep. So you wake up, and when you sleep, your body does paralyze you so that you don't like act out your dreams and like hurt yourself, you know, which is weird because when I was younger, I used to sleepwalk. So like clearly that part of me doesn't work very well. But yeah, I would have the sleep paralysis where it feels like something is choking you, like sitting on your chest. That is terrible. I remember the first time I ever had sleep paralysis. Well, the first time I know that I had it, because I get so scared that I don't even think to move. So I probably had it before this time, but I remember I was so scared. I felt something like sitting on my chest, and I thought it was like the ghost. At the time, I didn't know that I had sleep paralysis. I thought it was like the ghost, and it was trying to like kill me. So I remember building up the strength, like the courage to scream. So I like inhale, I'm like, and then I go to scream, and I let out the loudest scream I could possibly give. But all that came out was just a quiet exhale out of my nose. And that was terrifying. I kept trying to scream, and I couldn't. I wanted my mom to come in and save me. I was so scared. I was like, I'm gonna die. And eventually, like, it stopped, but I kind of just had to ride it out. And eventually I was able to move, but I was so terrified. I had that. I had this one sleep paralysis, like, dream hallucination thing where I literally could look down and see the covers over me being slowly dragged off of me, literally watching it like a horror movie, like a literal classic horror movie, watching it be dragged off of me. Hell the no. That was terrifying. And then when I finally snapped out of it, I looked down and the covers were still all the way up. That's sick and twisted. Why would my brain do that to me? So after a couple of these, then I like looked into it and I realized that it was sleep paralysis. But those ones that I experienced with the door and like the pages turning, I was often fully awake. So I have no idea. I don't even know if there's like a tie between paranormal experiences and sleep paralysis. I'm sure there's something. I'm sure a lot of people in the olden days thought their sleep paralysis was like a haunting or something. Yeah, I had both at the same time. It was fantastic. No, it sucked. But yeah, after I saged the place, I remember I was very firm and like spoke to whatever was there, like whatever entity. I was like, hey, I know you're probably nice and whatever, but no, I'm okay. I need you to leave me alone. But I do wonder like what it was. It wasn't like I was in a really old house or like anything with a weird history. I remember trying to look into the history of the house. It seemed normal. I have no idea what even causes a haunting, or if it was like me, like maybe because I've always been kind of sensitive to it, maybe they felt drawn to me. I don't know how ghosts work. None of us know how ghosts work, but yeah, it never really happened again, nothing like that. And then I moved out of that house and the sleep paralysis died down and I never experienced like a haunted house again. I did have a weird experience literally in this room a couple weeks ago, but I'm not willing to say it was a haunting yet. It was just strange. I was texting one of my friends and I was sitting in my chair at my computer and I was like facing my bed and I didn't even notice anything. I was just texting my friend, blah, blah, blah. Not a phone in sight. I was on my phone. I looked up and I like noticed something was off, and like so I took a double take, and my bed frame, the whole bed, was like off the wall. Just on this side though. On this side it was against the wall, so it was like diagonally up off the wall. I guess I could have like somehow accidentally done that and then not noticed, but I feel like I would have noticed pulling my bed like a foot up off the wall. That's just me. And I don't have a dog or anything, I just have a cat, and she weighs like 10 pounds, so I don't think she can do all that. But yeah, so I'm sure there's more. Can I be honest with you? I get so nervous filming. No idea why. So I don't know if I've forgotten anything, or if this was a nothing burger. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so I've had like a couple experiences. I have tried to like go ghost hunting before. I have not played with a Ouija board. I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I know that I don't believe in like demons, but I definitely believe in strong entities, and not all entities are super fun. Not everything is like fun for humans and like a good time. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm into that. But I have used like a spirit box, and I have like tried scrying to talk to those on the other side. But honestly, seeing those things happen at that house are probably the biggest proof that I've ever experienced. And I know it sounds like nothing, but also, if I had something super grand to pitch you, would you believe me? Like, probably me neither. If you have had any experiences, I want to hear about them. Definitely. Do you think anything causes them? Do you think it's like the place, or do you think it's your susceptibility? Were you a skeptic before it happened? I wasn't. I've just always believed in ghosts. That's just, I guess that's how my mom raised me, so. I also am indeed not finished with this look, and I guess like I had less to talk about than I thought. Oh, I do have something else. I didn't know if I should include it though, because it is paranormal, but it's not like a ghost. I had the strangest experience. I have really vivid dreams, and I dream often. They're really long, they're really detailed. Sometimes they're like insanely believable, sometimes they're less believable and more crazy, but really detailed. I can like see, smell. When I was younger, they used to scare me so bad because I couldn't tell if I was dreaming or not, and I would try to come up with ways to figure out if I was dreaming or not. So I could like reassure myself, like if I was having a nightmare or something, that I was sleeping, and then it would be okay. So I tried a lot of things. I would like look up like, what can't you do in a dream? And I would hear things like, you can't read in a dream. And so when I was dreaming, I don't know, it's not like I had a lot of power in my dream, but I could make myself do certain things. So if I was like, oh, everything is going really bad right now, let me see if I can read, I could do that. You know, this eyeliner, I don't know if I can talk and do eyeliner. Give me one moment. So I would try to read in my dreams to see if I was sleeping. But guys, that's a myth. I could definitely read. And you may be thinking like, yes, you can think that you're reading, but you're not reading. But no, sorry. I had really vivid dreams, and I could literally, when I woke up, remember what the font looked like, and like seeing the exact words. I could see everything. Like, unfortunately, that trick did not work for me. So I would try a bunch of things. And I also had like dream rules. I guess this is irrelevant, but I just wanted to share it. Maybe you have something similar. If I looked into a mirror in my dream, it would instantly become a nightmare. And I wouldn't like see my reflection or anything. It would look like Silent Hill in that bitch. It would look like Silent Hill in the mirror. Like really foggy, really dark. I wouldn't even really necessarily see my reflection. but as soon as I did, I could feel like my blood run cold, and I was like, uh-oh, I screwed up. We're entering nightmare territory. And without fail, if I looked into a mirror, it would turn into a nightmare. I never heard that anywhere, so I don't know where that came from. But yeah, so I would try different things to see if I was dreaming, but none of them really ever worked. My dreams were just so vivid. So one time I'm having this dream, and I meet this really strange creature. It's like a human wearing like a robe, kind of, but it has a deer head instead of like a human head. But again, it did not scare me. It kind of seemed normal. It didn't speak English, but I could communicate with it. I don't even remember it really speaking, but I remember it communicating with me, and it just made sense. I just knew exactly what it was trying to get across to me when it was trying to get it across to me. You know, dream logic, it doesn't have to make sense. Just go with me here. Just go with me. It was saying that I shouldn't be afraid, and I wasn't, and that it was my ancestors, but it was also me. It was like the spirit of everyone in my bloodline who came before me, and it was also my essence. It was who I was before I was alive, and it was who I would return to when I died. Not really like a person, kind of more like a conceptualization, like energy maybe. It didn't really have to explain itself too much to me. It's just hard for me to explain it in English, I guess. But it was also presenting to me as someone that I was closely related to. I have this great aunt that I never met. She was my grandpa's sister, and unfortunately, she was murdered when she was 21. I think it was in the 50s or the mid to late 40s. So I never met her, and I don't know too much about her, but it was kind of presenting, it didn't look like her. I don't even know what she does look like, but it was coming forth to me with her energy, so it felt very normal and like very loving, and like she was there to like guide me, kind of. I don't remember the dream, like what she said too much or what she was brain communicating to me, but I woke up and I told my mom about it, and my mom was like, oh my gosh, that was definitely your great aunt Patty. And I told her what it looked like, how it had a deer head. And you know what? That was so weird because we had two belongings. And it was weird because, or I guess like coincidental, because we did have some keepsakes from Patty. We had like a mirror, and we had a painting that she drew. And she drew a painting of a deer. So I don't know, it was just really interesting that I met her kind of presenting with a deer head. I don't know if maybe that's just a crazy dream, but take that for what you will. I thought it was really interesting, and to this day, the deer is kind of like my animal, like something that I feel like spiritually connected to. Honestly, I feel like if I did have like divination strength, it would definitely be in my dreams. I've had a lot of dreams where I talk to where I communicate with my dead family, which sounds so strange, but I don't know, it always felt like really comforting. I never met any of them, so I don't understand like why I would be coming up with that dream, but it always felt like, I don't know, I had like some connection while I was sleeping to the other side of the veil. I don't know if any of you guys relate to that, or if you think I'm literally just insane, which is so fair, but yeah, so nothing crazy, just wanted to share, thought you might be interested, but I'm not quite finished, so I guess we'll just talk about me a little bit longer. So I am 29, I am a Gemini, and as you know, I was Wiccan for a long time. I just decided that I didn't align with it so much anymore as I learned more about it, and I'm not like I just said, I'm just not that into like gatekeepy kind of, I don't know, like spiritualities, religions. And there was just too much drama with different Wiccans, and you know, I have that fear of lying. I don't want to say like, oh, I'm a Wiccan if I'm not, and like a lot of people say you have to be initiated, a lot will say you don't. I don't know. It just felt more and more wrong for me, but I do align with a lot of their basic principles. Like, I do believe you can hex and do like quote unquote negative magic, but I don't necessarily believe in doing it. Just like I don't believe in being a bad person. I do believe in karma, so just think we should all be the best people we can be and affect the world with kindness rather than punishment. I think the universe will handle the punishment part. But I have nothing against Wiccans or anything. I just felt like my practice needed to just be more aligned with what felt right for me and like what I intuitively felt drawn to, rather than like having a set of rules or anything, I guess. I just like to feel connected to the universe and the earth and energy. And I do believe in magic, but not in the way that a lot of non-witches believe in magic. Like, if you're a skeptic or if you just don't have any experience with this, I totally understand why it sounds like we're literally insane. And there definitely are people that I don't align with. I mean, like any community. But it's not like Harry Potter. You don't like conjure fireballs or like have instantaneous results from like spoken Latin word or anything. I think a lot of it is like mindset, and your mind is a really powerful thing, and this is indisputably true. And maybe you could see it as placebo, maybe you can just see it as positive thinking, but I do believe that magic works and is real. And I believe that there are things about the universe that are unknowable. They're incomprehensible to us, and that religion and spirituality is just a way of us interpreting it and not necessarily literally what it is. So you hear magic, you think really like mystical, fantastical, like CGI magic or whatever. I think that is just a word to interpret the unknowable forces that we have within us and around us. And maybe you just call that God, and that's okay too. But yeah, I just thought maybe that would be worth mentioning. I'm not insane. And if you believe in that kind of magic, you know, everything's interpretable. I think life is so interesting that way. No one is right 100%. And if you think you are 100% right, well, think again. No one knows. And everyone has their own interpretation, and I think that's beautiful. But yeah, oh my goodness. I'm so sorry that I was sick and couldn't really do like an interesting video, I guess. I hope this is a something burger and not a nothing burger, and that you at least had fun putting me on in the background and chilling. Maybe you have your own paranormal story, that you're willing to share with me. I would love to hear it. I know that mine were nothing crazy, but they did happen, and they were terrifying, and they were, I don't know, they're proof to me. I experienced those and they did happen, and you know, not everything that is real is cinematically interesting, I guess. Like, it's not a huge ordeal. Like, they're just things that can't be explained. And I feel like if you have strong intuition, I think this is also like a way that you can communicate with the other side, whether you think they're ghosts or if it's just the energy of the universe. I think it's all kind of interlinked with each other. But yeah, what's your craziest story? I kind of wish I lived in a haunted house again. I feel more equipped to handle it than I was when I was younger. There is a really cool link between teenagers and the paranormal, especially teenage women. Well, I know I'm non-binary, but you know what I mean. And also, I want to do like a ghost hunting video. Oh my gosh, I would love to do that. I used to love watching like ghost adventures and ghost hunters and all that crap, but they never had anything that I felt was as convincing as like literally seeing my door open. And I know a lot of you are gonna say, because it's not real and you can't catch it on video because it's not real. Well, it is real, okay? I literally saw it. And I just am wondering if, because I've literally had these experiences and because I'm open to it, if I could get something. Just curious.
Just wondering.
Just think it would be cool. Do you believe in ghosts, or do you only believe what can be literally seen and physically proven? Do you think there's anything else that can't be proven but it's not ghosts? I always find it so interesting. Some people are so dismissive of it. Some people have experienced it and believe in it, and some people believe in it and haven't experienced it. I just think it's really interesting. Are you pagan and do you believe in it, or are you pagan and don't believe in it? I wonder if I've never asked anyone that before. Is that a thing? Can you be pagan without believing in ghosts? I guess so. Why not? You can do anything you want. Yeah.
I hope this was fun. I hope you like hanging out with me. I don't know if I liked it.
It was really hard for me to focus, but I think I had fun. Maybe next time I should come up with like more to talk about. This was way more gabby, jabby, more just absolutely yapping than anything else. And yeah, next time I film, I'm going to be talking about Atlantis. That's gonna be a big... Atlantis turned out to be a way bigger subject than I thought it was going to be. So just give me a little bit more time. I'll get there. It's really interesting though. I just want to say that everything is interpretable. You're allowed to have your beliefs. I'm just reporting things as I believe them, come across them, read them, learn them. We're all learning together. I'm not the authority on anything. I actually know nothing. That's the whole point.
Okay, I don't want to ramble anymore. I think I'm done actually.
Have a good night. I love you. Bye.